Thank you for joining us on Up Close and Personal with G. Davis Productions. I am your host, Nakesha Wright, and today I am joined by the cast of Daddy's Boys. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So why don't we just go down and get your name and your character real quick.
You want to start with me?
Go ahead, yeah.
First of all, my name is
Dartez
Wright. You can call me Mr. Wright if you need.
Mr. Right, if you're wrong.
Who's
I played the character of Chuck Charles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kenneth Pierce Sr. I play the role of Junior, the oldest brother.
KP Rice played the part of the infamous Uncle Baby.
And the infamous.
And I'm Chase Rivers. I play Pops.
Mm-hmm.
Deion Jones, and I play Billy Boy. I'm the cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get right into the questions.
Okay.
I'm going to start with you, Ken.
Oh, wow.
You saw me looking at you. I was looking right at you.
Smart.
So how has it been for you working with G. Davis Productions throughout this pandemic?
It's been very interesting, enlightening, and at first, I guess when the pandemic started, we had a full schedule rolled out. We were ready to tour. I mean, I say a week or two before, it was like everything just came to a halt, and so we were excited about the upcoming season for Daddy's Boys. Just signed a new contract, so we were ready to go. I mean, everything was in motion, and then the pandemic, coronavirus hit, and the wheels began to turn. Our CEO began to write more, so I think it kind of challenged us in a good way to just figure out what we can do in the pandemic. How do we make it work? How do we stay visible? How do we stay engaged with the general public? And I think we've actually figured it out. So we were able to do a lot of things that we probably wouldn't have been able to do being sit down and really concentrating on our craft. So it helped us out.
Okay, awesome. So that brings me to the next thing, because G. Davis Productions was made mainly theater. It was just theater production, touring and traveling. So KP, how has it been for you to transition from theater into film?
Yes, KP.
Well, at first, I was thinking it was going to be something really, really, really hard, But then, man, these guys right here made the transition so very easy for me. And then, I study real hard, I pray real hard. And then when you see what our leaders are doing and how much effort they're putting in, I couldn't complain. I just had to keep on doing what I do. And, God is good. We got a good crew. That's all I could say.
Yep. Okay, so Daddy's boys. But Deion, you actually play the cousin.
Yes.
But you're raised like a brother. You're raised like another brother.
Absolutely.
So how do you personally feel about blended families?
Well, it's actually my own life story in a lot of ways. My father, who's been in my life, he adopted me and been married to my mom over 40 years. So, it's something I can really attest to. And just being made to feel like family. I've had my own blended family, and it becomes real beautiful when it works. I want to say it again, when it works. When it works. And that's kind of what we like, this with the production company. It's like a blended family. Yeah. So it's going great. Yeah.
Dartez.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-oh.
That can't be good.
Yeah. Hit him up.
So you play the youngest brother in Daddy's Boys, but in your real life, you're the oldest brother. So what is the difference in that dynamic for you?
Being the leader of the family, between me and my sibling, now I don't have to be the leader. I could just play the spoiled brat, which I am, low key. But Chuck is finding himself. We're going to see Chuck develop into his own man. I think Chuck is still in that development where he's not just spoiled. He just doesn't know where he is in life. And so I relate to that, just being in my early 20s, really not knowing what I wanted to do with my life and where I was at, and then finally picking up and making the right moves to be where I'm at today. Okay.
But Ken, you are the exact opposite.
Yes.
You play the oldest, but you're the youngest. So how does that feel for you?
It's a challenge, but I think it's a welcome role because naturally, being the youngest, you always wish that you were older, had more of an input, and so to be able to flip that on set and become the oldest brother. I love taking charge.
He's a bully, man. He's a bully.
It's all about power.
It's about power.
Money, that moolah.
Yeah, but I like it. I like it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Chase, you're the newbie. You replaced the old pops with being in Daddy's Boys. How has this play actually made you look at your overall health?
Oh man, it 180. I fit the stereotype of not going to the hospital even if something wrong. It's like, nah, I'll be all right. But you know, just seeing how life could be flipped upside down, like in a snap of a finger, it puts everything into perspective for me. And then coming in here being the newbie, having to play the pops, even though I'm the youngest one. Dartez gonna say he's younger than me.
No, man, you know you're only stop playing, dog.
But I'm actually the youngest one. It's a weird feeling, but it feels good to work with such great people who made me feel like I belonged in here first. Sure. So like they didn't have to make me work to be like to prove myself. They was like, come on in, man, we gonna help you. So that's a blessing.
Yeah, that is.
I said it before. He came in as a natural.
Yes.
Listen.
Thank you.
I mean,
My
came
brother, for
in
real.
knowing what to do, and just his professionalism, expertise
Killed it.
about the business, really helped move us along.
Yes.
You know, as a unit. So it was like the piece that just fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the transition.
Yeah.
To the
Yes,
film.
very
Absolutely.
good. Very
That's very new for some of us.
I'm taking you talking about
I'm
yourself.
talking about some of me.
So since we on you,
Yeah.
a little serious. So your mom is a cancer survivor.
Yes, thank God.
Thank
God.
God.
Yes.
So how did that feel actually going through that whole process with her and going through the treatments? How did that affect you?
Well, you know, we've been the production's been going on what, 3 years?
Yeah.
Going on 3 years. My mother's episode happened as recent as last year. And so she was diagnosed, and you know we're a faithful family. My father's a pastor. She brought the diagnosis to us, and so we immediately just began believing and praying and what we believe in and pray. And she had an amazing miracle happen. It was 7 days later. You know, she was clear of everything. Now she still had to go through treatment. And she had to do that maintenance for like 6 months, a year. And just being in the production, some of the information I already had, you know, it's a part we say later on in the filming where I say to Charles, you know, knowledge is power. You know, it helps you not be scared. So knowing some of those things, even like what treatment really does, you know, and the maintenance of your body, and you know, and things of that nature. It was the mix of faith with the information. You know, it just created confidence. Yeah.
Indeed.
But Dartez, your grandmother actually passed away from cancer.
Right.
So what advice could you give to someone whose family member is battling with cancer?
Talk about it. Stick together.
Yes.
I think that was the best thing for my family. Like, we just got this open line of communication.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, I couldn't just say, I don't like this. I had to explain everything. So I'm a type of guy, I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I ain't gonna send in a disrespectful way, but I'm gonna express myself. And just being able to talk to my family members and just having them there, it was an easy transition, but it was still hard.
Yeah.
But it made the transition much easier than just taking that in and just holding it to myself. So just talking about it and having a good support system. Like these guys right here, I remember we was on the road and I lost a cousin. Like right after the show, I got a call. We walked off stage and the guys just embraced me with love, and the bond just been brotherhood ever since.
Wow, and this is deep. So, KP, you lost your stepfather actually to prostate cancer.
Yes, ma'am.
So how did that just affect you in general?
Well, to this day, you know, it's sort of hard for me to come to grips with it because he was the one who showed me about being a man, you know. He pretty much, you know, well known in East Baltimore. Everybody played basketball in any aspect knows him. You know, the thing that I think about most, you know, that I relate to the play is that my sister was the one that had to be there at all times. When we did our first show in Baltimore, she couldn't handle it. You know, like, I mean, and she was like, God, how did he know? You know, I said, baby girl, you know, it was intermission. I said, baby girl, talk to him after the show. I said, but this is not the first time that Mr. G has pulled something like that, you know, and it was, I mean, it's just touching, you know, and I knew that it had to be coming from God, you know, and several things I've done with him. And I mean, how does he know these things, you know, and God, and in this group, man, like, I'm gonna let it go right there.
I totally understand what KP is saying, because Garrett is writing for such a time as this. I think it's so relevant, the information that we're getting out and the way that we're getting the information about prostate cancer, about the other different stage plays that we have that are now transitioning into sitcom mode, where we're dealing with diabetes, we're dealing with heart failure. These are subjects that are really plaguing our community. But nobody's really dealing with it in a way to where it's sitting it in your lap, to where you say, you identify with it. I see, oh, that's what my uncle is dealing with. That's what my sister is dealing with. That's what my, you know, and so we're taking it and we're delivering it in a way to where as people can really consume it, digest it, and then give it back to their loved ones in a supportive manner. You know, just, I think it's just something that's not available, but we're making that avenue. So I remember having a conversation with Garrett a long time ago, and he was like, you know, he really looked for people that create jobs for themselves. You know, you see the opportunity, and if it's not there, create it. And I think that's what he's done in this time. He's created a lane that we're dealing with some relevant information. So it's bigger than a stage play or just a regular sitcom that's going forward. We're really giving people information, practical tools that are going to help them, that are going to save lives.
And then KP was talking about how his sister was the caretaker for his stepfather. And I know that right now you actually help take care of your mother, you're a caretaker. How does that affect your day-to-day life?
It's difficult, because at this very moment,
for being honest.
It's difficult. And it's not an easy transition, because it's, for my family dynamics, we're talking about three boys, one girl. So a lot of the weight, when we're talking about dealing with the mother standpoint, falls on my sister, because, you know, it's that female contact that's there. So we try to be there with transportation. We try to be there just for, you know, to stand in as a fill-in for a body. But it's difficult. It's really difficult. But the support that the siblings, I remember Dartez saying earlier on about the conversation, keep talking. And that's what my siblings and I were doing now. I mean, there's nothing off limits. And we've made a pact. We really came together and made a pact and said, listen, whatever happens in this, we're going to keep talking. We're going to stay together. And we got to just keep making sure that we're there for my father, for each other, because the burden could become heavy on one individual when it's that individual that's carrying it. And so we just try to lend as much support as possible.
Okay. So since Chase and Dartez, since y'all the youngest, I don't know who's the youngest. But
he older than me.
He older than you? Okay. So y'all haven't had your PSA test done. So how do y'all feel about getting that test done?
What's wrong with you?
What they don't know.
I don't feel about it right now.
Don't feel.
You will feel it.
I just think about it a lot.
Oh, just you wait and see.
But no, I mean, honestly, doing this show is making me at least want to. Like before, like I said, I'm not worried about that. I'm 30. I don't care. Like it's but I mean, you got to. You got to. I'm way more open to it now.
Well, I'm still a little shaky. You know, but, you know, doing this play for real about 2 years ago, I just was like, yo, you gotta be on your health tip. You know, without your health, without your body being here present, then you're no good. So,
so true.
You know, I'm with whatever. So, you know, it might, you know, mess with me a little bit mentally. But I can handle it.
Look, with this pandemic, health is wealth.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that reinforcing of it with what we do is just it's beautiful.
Health is priceless, man.
Yeah, sure.
Can't put a price on it.
Can't.
And also, some of the things, you know, this group as a whole, we've been through, like in life, for real. When when we hit the stage, it's not acting anymore. Right. It's not acting at all. You know, like it's coming from right here from the heart. You know, and once again, how does our leader know? How did he know before he put this on pen and paper that this is what he's going to be dealing with?
Absolutely.
You know how?
Yeah.
And this is a special group.
Yes.
Yeah, these are my brothers.
Yeah.
For real, like I don't want to keep telling sad stories, but like my grandma passed.
Right. That's really
3 hours. I had to hop on. We had a show in Atlanta, you know, and these guys was there for me. Like, and so I don't think this bond right here, it'll never be broken. This is bigger than a play. It's bigger than a show. Just a real brotherhood, and shout out to Garrett, you know, for even putting it together. I mean, from day one when we first met each other, it was like, I know these guys. I don't know if we've been here before or we're going somewhere else, but I knew them and I didn't know nobody. So it's crazy. So yeah, this is definitely a dope cast. So
yeah. I think that's probably a good note to end on right there. I you know, but so thank you all.
Well, thank you. Thank you for taking time to talk with us.
I appreciate
and by the way, I'm the youngest. I want everybody to know that.
We need some ID.
I'm the youngest.
Right.
I don't believe in that.
I don't believe it.
I got to do my clothes.
Oh, we're sorry.
Okay. So thank y'all for joining us on Up Close and Personal with G. Davis Production. I am your host, Nakesha Wright.